A stunning security breach has embarrassed the Secret Service after an intruder got past their security and entered the home of President Biden's national security advisor, Jake Sullivan, at 3 o'clock in the morning. Sullivan confronted the intruder in the middle of the night, according to the Washington Post, and told him to leave, after which Sullivan went outside and told the Secret Service agents, who were still not aware that it even happened. This comes just days after Congressman Jerry Connolly's staffers were assaulted in his district office in suburban Virginia by a man with a metal baseball bat. That, a violent confrontation. That man now facing a federal charge. Joining me now is John Bolton, the former National Security Advisor. Ambassador, thank you very much for being with us. So there was an attempted assassination of you in the past. I think it was 2020 by Iranian hitmen. You had security for a while, well, during office, but then for a while after leaving office. What's your reaction to this? It's a major breach at Jake Sullivan's home. And apparently, according to the Washington Post, the door was not locked. How troubling is this? Fortunately, this was a confused person, apparently, who was not violent. But this is a man who has all the secrets, the same as secret level as the president. You know, you had that job.
Right. Well, I have to say, I have never encountered any circumstance like that myself, both in the time when I served as National Security Advisor, when I had 24/7 Secret Service protection at my residence and then wherever I was, nor in the time since then when President Biden reinstituted it because of this Iranian threat that later led to criminal charges by the Department of Justice, the same sort of arrangement. So, and I don't know of anybody who has been protected by the Secret Service where this has developed. So they will conduct their investigation, and we'll to find out exactly what happened. We'll have to wait for that. But it is a reminder that that threats that are out there, this turned out to be benign. I have to say, Jake Sullivan showed courage and determination to confront the fellow and tell him to get out of his house. It could have been a lot worse. So it's a reminder, I think, that we just have to be vigilant against these threats. And
the Secret Service, they're an admirable group, and I've known and worked around them for decades, since 1977. So I know this in many administrations, many White Houses. And they guard foreign visitors, handle things like the UN major anniversary with 150 heads of state here in New York City. But this kind of lapse, going in and coming out of the house, they had no idea that he had even been in and out. How was a door unlocked to the National Security Advisor's house?
Well, I think it's just a reminder, even if you've got Secret Service protection, lock your doors. There's no doubt about that. I don't want to get into all the technicalities of how people are protected when they have security at their residences. So there are a number of things I think the Secret Service authorities have to look into to see what happened. But I have no doubt that they understand that this is a very serious matter. I just really wanted to underline from my own experience, not only the days that I have been and still am being protected, but my experience with others. This is stunning in how unusual it is.
No, exactly right. I've never heard of anything like this in all the time I've been in Washington. But what do you think is this, as you say, fortunately, apparently was benign. What do you think is driving what happened in Congressman Connolly's office in Virginia? I mean, it goes back to Gabby Gifford, the horrendous attack against her. She's still recovering and working in physical therapy after that horrible injury. But it does seem like there are more and more attacks and threats, certainly. The threats are up 400% against members of Congress.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a mental illness problem in the country. And I think for decades, we have heard from experts on the subject that you don't want to confine people with mental illness. They need to be mainstreamed into society. I'm not a shrink. I can't comment on it. But it seems to me when people observe erratic behavior, there ought to be some system for the protection of the general public to restrain some of these people. I think it is an element in gun violence, and it's an element in some of these other aspects. When I had protection earlier as UN ambassador, back in the Bush administration, the main thing the Diplomatic Security Bureau at the State Department was worried about then was what they called EDPs, emotionally disturbed persons. And because we're reluctant to acknowledge that some people have mental illness, that's just a fact, that we don't want to admit it, we don't want to take steps to deal with it, it puts perfectly innocent people in jeopardy. So I think we've got to have a more serious conversation about that for the protection of the innocent.
A very interesting point. Well, Ambassador, thank you very much for joining us today.